Every horn player has a beginning to their horn journey. That moment of inspiration, that moment of sheer euphoria, that moment well, of getting tired of playing the trumpet. I know, I said it, but it's true. Come on, guys, like it's true. My story began like most horn players, on the trumpet. And as you can see, I kind of took playing the trumpet pretty seriously. I mean, look at that posture. Sheesh. It's just pure beauty, perfection right there. Sorry, I just had to, be narcissistic for a second. But as we all know, everybody and their grandma has heard the French horn. It's literally everywhere. In movies, games, commercials, you name it. Like, everyone's heard it, but they don't know what it is. And I grew up hearing it too. But my youthful inner trumpet player could care less about playing that weirdly shaped instrument. I mean, it's pointing the wrong way. But obviously, it wasn't until that moment, the moment I talked about earlier. And that moment came from me. One moment, one afternoon, in Ghana, West Africa. I was sitting in my room, just minding my business, when I heard this sound coming from my living room. I stopped what I was doing and raced down the stairs, and standing at the bottom of the stairs was my dad. He had pulled out a horn from the old storage closet and was playing some beautiful soaring tones and notes and ferocious rips. And that was the moment I knew I wanted to do that one day. Not long after this, my family took a furlough and went to the States. And that's where I knew my trumpet playing days were now numbered. I began taking horn lessons and playing the horn in community and church orchestras with my siblings as we traveled the country. My dad was the kind of guy to ask if we could play with anyone at any time and anywhere. And to be honest, it kind of built our chops. Once our furlough was over, we returned to Ghana. And boy, was my horn playing in for a ride. I had the opportunity to be involved in music symposiums on the National University campus and received help and advice to improve my skills from German musicians who were visiting in the country. And these events encouraged me in my efforts to play. I began practicing seriously and began trying to teach others to play the horn too. I grew as a musician and a horn player. And as time went on, I got older and eventually moved on to Bible college in California. It was there that I got the opportunity to play in church services, events, and school orchestra. And there were so many different highlights I have from that time. Here are some of them. It was here in college that I met so many talented and incredible musicians and horn players who really challenged me and pushed me to higher heights. I also began teaching and helping out with developing horn students that would replace me once I moved on. A few years later, as Christmas came steamrolling in and concert season was winding up, me and my brother decided to escape and go visit our parents in Ghana. And of course, my horn came along too. There in Ghana, I got to work with some of the best musicians in my parents' ministry. It was a blast. There were also some developing potential horn players that I got to mentor too, and that really was the icing on the cake. But as we all know, all fun times come to an end. I headed back to college and got back into the groove of things. With new energy from the holidays, I tackled some more awesome church music with some pretty cool horn highlights. Here's some of those too. This could be considered the end of my story because I'm still in college right now. But it's not. Back in Ghana, after I had left some years ago, a teacher in my parents' ministry had begun learning horn on her own and soon began teaching the basics to a few of her students. One of them began to excel in a way I'd never seen before. Despite his small stature, he played with an authority that commanded my attention. I mean, listen to this. seeing a recording like this that reminds me of my story and kind of brings my journey all the way back to its end, just brings my journey to a full circle, gives it some closure. When I see him play, I see where I was, and hope in my heart that one day he will exceed and overcome all the obstacles and do greater things than I could have ever imagined. And I guess that's my French horn story. What's yours?